हेलो चिल्ड्रन, कैसे हैं आप सब लोग। आई एम दलजिंदर, योर मेंटर फॉर इंग्लिश। और आज की वीडियो में वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट idioms एंड phrases. नाउ दिस चैप्टर इज वेरी एक्साइटिंग. दिस वीडियो इज आल्सो गोइंग टू बी वेरी एक्साइटिंग बिकॉज ये एक ऐसा टॉपिक है जिसे वी यूज इन आवर एवरीडे लाइफ. यू मस्ट हैव सीन, आपकी दादी, मम्मी, नानी बहुत सारे idioms phrases यूज करते हैं और ऐसे वर्ड्स यूज करते हैं which you can't understand and then you go and ask some elder, भैया इसका मतलब क्या था. So that is what we are going to do today. We are going to learn about idioms and phrases. So the first idiom which we are going to see in today's video is by hook or by crook. So if I basically translate it into Hindi or in simple words, by hook or by crook means I want to do it. I have to do it by any means. If I want something, I want something. आपने देखा होगा, they are small children, you know, they get struck by something. Oh, I want that toy. Oh, I want that toy. They really need it and they do it anything for it. So that is what it is, by hook or by crook. By any means, when we want something, it is by hook or by crook. So let's look at one example which is there on your board. Raj wanted to earn money by hook or by crook. So Raj is not interested whether he's doing a right thing or a wrong thing. He just wants money. So that is an example of the idiom which is by hook or by crook. Okay, clear with you all? Now let's look on to the next idiom here. So the next idiom is here on your screen. A bolt from the blue. Bolt, we have heard nut and bolt. वो वाला bolt नहीं है. The bolt from the blue means that, you know, out of a sudden shock. कहीं से भी कोई भी चीज आपके सामने अचानक से आ जाती है, then it means a bolt from the blue. Let's see an example here. The death of his father came as a bolt from the blue for him. So obviously, you know, किसी के भी father की death is a very tragic incident. So it was a really great shock to him, and therefore we can use this idiom here, a bolt from the blue. Clear with you all? Alright. It may happen. A bolt from the blue may come just when you would see an idiom that you really know may come into this slide. The next one here is blow one's own trumpet. What does it mean कि blow one's own trumpet? मतलब अपना ही trumpet बजाना. उसका क्या मतलब है कि you know that you're just talking about yourself and you're self-obsessed and no one is really interested, but you're just talking अपने बारे में बात करते जा रहे हो. So that is blow one's own trumpet. Okay, give one's own description about his goods or himself or his personality or anything like that. Example here is don't blow your own trumpet as everybody knows about you. So you may be a person जिसके बारे में already सबको पता है, and if you go and tell about yourself, okay, I'm this, then it wouldn't look good. It would be like you're blowing your own trumpet, you know. Everybody already knows you're just doing a show off, which is not a good thing. Okay, let's look at the next idiom that you should learn. By the skin of one's teeth. Skin and teeth, what is the relation here? By the skin of one's teeth means very narrowly, as it is rightly written here. Very narrowly means जैसे you know, in the Hindi language if we say बाल से, that is a very fine line, you know, distinction. So here it gives you example. Rohit studied at the right time and saved himself by the skin of his teeth. You know, if he had not studied at the right time, he would have failed. And I know you don't want to fail, so pay attention to the video. Now let's look on to the next idiom. So the next idiom that you see on your screen is close shave. Now close shave is similar to the previous one, just as we studied. Now this also means very narrowly, or you know, just saved. So here's example. I closed shave myself by climbing the tree before the arrival of the wolf. You know that the wolf was trying to catch him or hunt him down. So he just at the right time he climbed up the tree and the wolf couldn't see him or something might have happened and he saved himself. उसने अपने आप को बचा लिया. So save very narrowly मतलब बहुत fine line से जब हम बच जाते हैं and we don't land up into our trouble, then we can use this idiom which is close shave. Very simple, close shave, right? The next one here is this, which says to be at loggerhead. Now what does it mean to be at loggerhead? Loggerhead means loggerhead, two people are fighting together. That is to quarrel, like fight करना, ठीक है? Both the sisters were at loggerheads over new toys. Now there would be two sisters, उनको नए toys मिले होंगे and she said I want to play and the other said no I want to play. So they both are fighting and then you know we can use this to, they both are at loggerheads, that they both are fighting with each other. I think this would be a very common one for you. You're going to use it often now, I know. The next idiom that we are seeing on the screen is something that happens to most of us. If not all, but most, I would say. To get cold feet. What does it mean to get cold feet? You know, a living organism is warm, he has heat energy inside of it, and a dead person obviously has his body cold. So to get cold feet means someone who's not feeling you know, energetic, or he's afraid, or he's nervous, something like that. So तब हम ये idiom use कर सकते हैं to get cold feet. You know, for example, you get into a certain task which you are very afraid to do. आपको उसे करने से बहुत डर लग रहा है, you know, or maybe a tiger comes in front of you and I guess you will run, but there would be certain people who would just, get numb. वो वहीं खड़े रह जाएंगे, वो डर जाएंगे. So then we can use this idiom, which is to get cold feet. Now let's look at an example for this. Seeing the principal before him, he got cold feet and left the room immediately. So this must be some notorious child जो class में कुछ मस्ती कर रहा होगा. And immediately he saw that the principal was coming and he got cold feet. That is, वो डर गया, he got nervous and then he left the room immediately. Okay. The next one here is a storm in a teacup. So we all know teacup इतना सा होता है, and a storm is a huge one. So it doesn't make sense कि एक cup में एक storm है, right? So what does this mean? Great excitement about a little matter. कि छोटे से cup में इतना बड़ा storm means it's if in Hindi I would say, like राई का पहाड़ बनाना, but it is in a good sense, a great excitement about a little matter. Let's look at an example. Let's see what is an example for this. Both are trying to present the disagreement as a storm in a teacup. They might be talking about a small thing and they have made a great issue out of it, maybe in fun way or in a bad way, but it's unnecessary. It's a small cup and you're making a big argument or a big statement or a big humor out of it. So therefore, we can use this idiom, a storm in a teacup, right? We often see small children, they get excited about little things and they just keep talking about it all day long, night. You could buy them a, small toy and they'll just keep playing with it day and night until they break it. But that's how we can, make use of this idiom, a storm in a teacup. Although it's a small thing, but wo say itna bada kar dete hain. But that gives them happiness. That's okay. The next idiom जो आप अपने बोर्ड पे देख रहे हैं is rank and file. अब rank and file का मतलब क्या होता है? Rank and file basically means to treat everyone equally without any kind of discrimination, which is a must, जो कि होना भी चाहिए. Now, what can be the example of this idiom that we can use in our daily life? Here is one example. The doctor treated rank and file of his colony without any fee. मतलब जितने भी लोग थे, whoever people were there in the colony of this particular doctor, he treated all of them absolutely free without charging anything. Okay, so this is where we can use rank and file. This is one example, and you must think of some examples. You can comment down in the comment section below. I would love to check your answers. The next one here is have the last laugh. Now, last laugh का मतलब ये नहीं है that after that someone is going to die. Last laugh basically means that we were thinking that we are going to lose against something. हम किसी से argument कर रहे थे or we were having some fight or not physical fight but verbal fight, and then we thought we may lose. We are not getting some good points about the debate, but ultimately at the end what happens? We win. So there we can use this have the last laugh. So I'll explain the meaning. To finally get an advantage. Advantage means the win. Okay, from an argument or disagreement, आप किसी से साथ argue कर रहे हो या disagree कर रहे हो, उसमें आप win कर जाते हो ultimately. When you thought that you would not, you had thought that you would not win, and then you win. For example, having scored 99% marks, Naresh had the last laugh. Means Naresh was not expecting that he was going to score 99% marks. He was absolutely sure कि मेरे तो 99 आएंगे ही नहीं. But then what happened? He scored 99% marks. So he had the last laugh. यहाँ पे हमारे पास एक idiom है white elephant. Elephant are already endangered species. White elephant और भी rare है, हमें वैसे ही नहीं दिखता है. Similarly, it has a similar meaning to it. White elephant. White elephant is something which is very rare. We don't see it, and not exactly we can say it has the same meaning. The white elephant basically means if you have something which is of no use to you. Okay, it may be expensive. So let's say you don't have any use over some electronic appliance, और आप उसे खरीद के ले आए, it cost you a large amount of money, and then it's lying somewhere, उस पे dust पड़ रहा है, it's just a waste. So then you can say that that particular electronic appliance is a white elephant for you. It means it is of no use. हमारे किसी काम का नहीं है वो. See, something that is completely useless, although it may have cost you a lot of money. Okay, example क्या है हमारे पास? A car is a white elephant in a poor man's house. A poor man के पास he doesn't have enough money to fuel it, right? And as we know कि कार की और टू व्हीलर में एवरेज में ऑब्वियसली फर्क होता है. तो अब उसके लिए कार तो इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर हिम टू ड्राइव. ही मे गेट हिज नेसेसिटीज, हिज फूड ओनली. वही बहुत बड़ी बात है उसके लिए, राइट? सो कार इज एब्सोल्युटली अ व्हाइट एलिफेंट फॉर दैट पुअर मैन, राइट? Think of other examples that you know and do comment it down. Let bygones be bygones. This is a very, very famous idiom, I would say. I've heard it so many times in my life. Let bygones be bygones. When someone is upset, you would love to tell them that this idiom, let bygones be bygones. Jo ho gaya, so ho gaya. Raat gayi, baat gayi. It's finished now. So to forget unpleasant experiences that happen in the past. So any unpleasant experience that you may have in the past, it's always better to forget it, right? Because it unnecessarily creates a trouble for us. Let's look at one example where we can use this idiom. Now that we are friends, we can let bygones be bygones. So there may be two people, who may not have a very good past. They may fight or उनके बीच में कुछ problem होगी. But now that they're friends, they're saying, let's forget everything, जो भी हुआ, and we are not going to talk about it anymore. Neither we are going to keep it in our mind. Okay? And we are going to be just friends. So let bygones be bygones. Right? This idiom, cheek and jowl. Now this is close to your cheek and your jawline. Okay, cheek and jowl, isse aap yaad kar sakte ho that they both are very close to each other, right? So that's exactly what this idiom means, close to each other. So very simply, इसमें कुछ ज़्यादा समझने वाला है नहीं. Ramesh and Suresh always sit cheek and jowl in their office. Means Ramesh और Suresh जो है वो हमेशा office में they sit close to each other. Maybe they are friends or they are colleagues or whatever. So they sit together, cheek and jowl, right? Okay, so the next one which we're going to see here is get a sack. Get a sack is if you watch English movies, you would he or heard this idiom often. Get a sack. I got a sack, and someone may come crying out in the movie, I got a sack. Now, what does this mean? I got a sack means to get fired. Fired का मतलब क्या होता है? Fired means when you're working somewhere and the company or the organization doesn't want you to work anymore there, so they tell you to go out and we don't want you. So that is what it means to get fired, and that's exactly what it is to get a sack. Let's look at an example here. Due to inappropriate behavior at his office, he got a sack. He may not be behaving properly at his office. He may not be doing his work. जैसे आप लोग कभी बार homework करना भूल जाते हो, वैसे ही वो अपना काम नहीं कर रहा होगा. So therefore, he got a sack. That is, he was removed from his job. You should also do it. Otherwise, you'll also be removed from your school. To call it a day. Day को day तो बोलेंगे. To call it a day. What does this mean? To decide to stop doing something. आप कुछ काम कर रहे थे दिन में and then you just like, oh, I don't want to do, I'm getting lazy. And then you just shut it down. So that is call it a day. Example, seeing his children return home, the father called it a day. कि मतलब father ने देखा, farmer ने देखा कि उसके बच्चे घर आ रहे हैं. Then he said, no, I will not work today, I'll spend time with my children. So he called it a day. उसने उस दिन की अपनी छुट्टी कर दी. It also happens sometimes, that if some emergency situation comes and you're in your school, earthquake happens, कुछ भी हो जाता है, then the school principal decides to call it a day, means आपकी छुट्टी हो जाती है and you're told to go home, right? So therefore we can use this idiom there, call it a day. But we shouldn't do call it a day often, alright? It's not good. To take to the task. To take to the task का मतलब क्या होता है? Task is anything difficult, but here task means to take to task means to curse someone, not in literal way. पुराने टाइम में जैसे होता था, I am giving a श्राप, वैसा नहीं है यहाँ पे, ठीक है? To take to curse means, you are unhappy with something, आपको किसी पे, you are feeling annoyed at them and you say bad words or, rude words maybe. That is when we can say to take to the task, okay? Or even sometimes, some people use it in another way, when someone is maybe a lazy person and your mother takes to you to task, it means that it's not that she's saying bad words to you or she's cursing you. It just means that, they are compelling you to do the right thing, okay? Or maybe they want you to do something that you're not doing. So both ways we can use it. Here's one example. When he could not reach his office on time, he took the taxi driver to the task. कि मतलब when he was not able to reach the office in time, उस office पहुंचना था time पे, obviously if he will not reach, his boss will take him to task. And when he understood that, he took the taxi driver to the task. उसने taxi driver को curse करना शुरू कर दिया. So you see, it's a chain going on. Everyone is taking other ones to the task. Well, that's okay. Let's look at the next one. To eat humble pie. Humble pie. Pie, I think all of you like a pie. Humble pie means, okay, let's say someone makes a mistake, okay? And they are, humble enough that they go and say, okay, I'm sorry, मुझसे गलती हो गई. That is what it means to eat a humble pie. That is to eat your, ego or your, whatever you would call it. And just go and say, okay, it was my mistake and I give my apology for it. To admit that you are wrong and say that you are sorry. ठीक है? Admit करना कि आप गलत हो और sorry बोलना is to eat a humble pie. So I think that is a quality most of us should have, and we should also tell others to eat a humble pie, right? Let's look at an example. As soon as my father entered the room, I ate a humble pie with my brother. So, यहाँ पे there could be two siblings and they might have troubled their father or may said something bad or something like that. So when their father entered the room, they decided, okay, he's our father and we should not disobey or, show up rude behavior. So they decided to eat a humble pie, that they decided, okay, father, we were wrong and we are guilty and we are sorry. Please forgive us. So here they ate a humble pie, right? So I hope you'll also eat a humble pie. Swan song. Now this is an idiom which I think everyone will come across at some point of time in their life. Now what is swan song? The last piece of work that an artist or writer produces or the last time someone gives a performance. ठीक है? So अगर कोई artist है या कोई writer है या कोई performer है, they're doing their part for the last time. ठीक है? Then we'll say that last performance of theirs or their last artwork or their last writing, it will be a swan song. Okay? Let's look at an example. This performance will be my swan song. So he's saying कि ये जो मेरी performance है, ये मेरी swan song है. मतलब this is the last time I'm going to perform. After that, I would not perform or he may have other reasons. We are not interested in that. Anyway, let's look at the next idiom. With open arms. Open arms means खुले हाथों से. खुले हाथों से means to give a hug, obviously, right? And who do we give a hug to? We give hug to the people we love or, we are feeling warm towards them. Let's see an example. Though I was meeting my uncle first time, he welcomed me with open arms. So, it takes a small amount of time for us to, have a good bond with other people. So, although he was meeting his uncle for the first time, still his uncle was very welcoming. He was a very nice person and he welcomed him with open arms. He welcomed him with a very warmth and he did not let him feel anything sad or, anything that would make him feel uncomfortable. The next one here on your screen is all in all. All in all मतलब पूरे तरीके से, ठीक है? So जैसे कि you are watching this video right now, है ना? And you are trying to understand every bit and word that I'm speaking. Oh, this will help me in exam. And that is what it means to be all in all. So used to show that you are considering every part of a situation. आप हर एक चीज को समझने की जब कोशिश कर रहे होते हो, then we say you are all in all. That you are totally into it. Example. All in all, Jayati is the best singer in the group. कि मतलब जयति जो है वो best singer है considering everyone. मतलब सारी situations consider करके कोई better singer होगा, कोई ज़्यादा experienced singer होगा. Considering everything, age, etc. Jayati is the best singer. So when we are considering everything and then we reach a conclusion, then we say the idiom all in all. Clear with you all? Blue blood. Now, blue blood, I know, आपको पता है कि ghosts have blue blood. It's not that blue blood. People belonging to the noble family. What is the meaning of noble family? Noble family is a royal family, kings, queens and all. So, उनकी family में the people who belong, they are said to be of blue blood. Okay. Example. His manners show that he is a blue blood. We are talking about some certain person and we are saying that, he is belonging to a noble family. Uske manners se dekh ke pata chal raha hai, the way he is walking, talking, etc., that he belongs to a blue blood. Blue blood basically means, and it's like a compliment that we give to people that, you are very well mannered and you are behaving very aesthetically and that's a good thing. Uphill task. Uphill task means uphill means hill ke upar chadna, which is obviously a difficult thing, and hence its meaning very difficult work. Okay. Example: even learning one chapter seems uphill to Mohan. Ki Mohan is a very bad child. I think usse ek chapter bhi yaad nahi ho raha hai. Even one chapter learning is an uphill task for him. Is learning one chapter uphill task for you? Comment down. Next idiom here on your screen: fair weather friend. Fair weather friend. Fair means सब कुछ अच्छा and weather is obviously the मौसम. So fair weather friend means a friend who is with you when everything is good around you. Okay, which means that they're not with you when everything is bad around you. So hence this gives it a meaning: a word who does not help you in difficulty. So a friend which is there with you in your good times, but when you need them in bad times, they're not there for you. Let's look at an example. All my friends proved to be fair weather friends as none of them helped me in my exam. That's not a good statement. He had an exam and none of his friends helped him, And he said, all his friends are fair with their friend. But I think his friends are good, They're helping him not to cheat in exam. The next idiom here on your screen. Let's see what it is. To be weak or weakened in the upper story. Yes. We all know certain people like that, right? What does it mean in Hindi? You know, I've heard this in Hindi. They say कि तुम्हारा ऊपर का माला खाली है. What does that mean? कि your brain, that your story above is empty, which means obviously someone is dumb, right? I can't assign such work to him as he is vacant in the upper story. That someone is saying, you know, मैं उसे वो काम नहीं दे सकता. I can't give him that work because it's a good or responsible work, and he's empty in his mind. He doesn't have enough sense. So there we can use to be weak or vacant in the upper story. Alright, but that's not a good thing to call people, right? So we'll avoid this idiom. Next idiom that you see on your screen is what? To be under one's thumb. किसी के thumb के नीचे दब जाना. That is someone who is going to crush you. To be under control of someone, obviously, right? So let's see an example here. She is no more under the thumb of her mother-in-law. So mother-in-law is the sasuma, and there must be some daughter-in-law also. And the mother-in-law would be trying to crush her daughter-in-law. And now the daughter-in-law has risen and she's saying, I won't be controlled by you. So she's saying, using the statement, she is no more under the thumb of her mother-in-law. Alright? To be at daggers drawn. Now, what does it mean? Let's understand. To be bitterly hostile towards each other, to be bitterly hostile means to behave very badly with someone, and you're showing no iota of any humbleness or, any dignity. So that is where we say to be bitterly hostile towards each other. And the idiom that we use for it is to be at daggers drawn. All right, let's look at an example. Both the brothers are at daggers drawn due to the property dispute. So two brothers may have a dispute, means the fight. Two brothers के बीच में fight हो रही है, I'll have the property. He's saying no, I will have the property. So they are very bitterly hostile towards each other. And here we'll use this idiom to be at daggers drawn. Okay. The next one is to pull a long face. Yes, we have heard it often. Muh utar lena, right? So to be at long face means to look sad. That when we are upset, people tell us, oh, तुमने मुंह क्यों उतार रखा है? It's not that हमने मुंह उतार रखा है, but it's just a idiom, to pull a long face, to get sad. My son pulled a long face when he was scolded by his mother, कि उसके बेटे ने कैसा फेस बना लिया, sad face बना लिया when he was scolded by his mother, right? And anyone who after a scolding would obviously make a long face, right? To play truant, to be absent from school without leave. So I think, no, I have not been that child. I have not tried to play truant. That is to be absent from school without leave. And you shouldn't do it either. It is a very bad habit of the students to play truant from class. And yes, of course, it's a bad habit when you get absent without any reason, So the teacher are obviously worried about it. If something happens to you tomorrow, then no one can help you out, right? So you should always give a reason why you're absent and you should not get vanished, right? Let's go on to the next idiom now. The idiom that we see here is to flag a dead horse. Now, you remember old times में जब wars होती थी तो horses के ऊपर those soldiers used to sit and वो अपना flag carry करते थे. I will win, हमारा झंडा ऊंचा रहेगा, है ना? So, but with a dead horse, अब एक dead horse के ऊपर you can't put a flag, right? It's of no use because the horse has died. He's not going to take you anywhere, right? So it means even if you are putting that flag on the dead horse, it's a waste effort. उसका कोई फायदा नहीं है ना? So that is what the meaning of this idiom is. To waste effort on something when there is no chance of succeeding, not even a remote chance of succeeding. There's no chance of succeeding और तब भी आप effort कर रहे हो, then we can say, you are flagging a dead horse. Let's look at an example for this idiom. Placating my daughter is like flogging a dead horse. Now, placating का मतलब क्या होता है? When you try to convince someone to be less angry or less annoyed or less hostile, then we use the word placating. So this mother or father is, talking about his or her daughter and is saying, that my daughter, placating his or her daughter is like, flogging a dead horse. मतलब जैसे dead horse के ऊपर flag लगाने के बराबर है. It's of no use. I mean, no matter how much they convince their daughter not to fight, not to get angry, she's like, I will get angry. No one can stop me, right? The next one, to fall flat. To fall flat means fail हो जाना. बहुत बुरे तरीके से fail हो जाना. To fail miserably. The principal's speech fell flat on convincing the teachers to call off the strike. So there must be some school where the teachers are protesting and, asking certain things from the principal. The teachers are maybe demanding some facilities or something, right? And the principal is trying to convince them, oh, I will take care of your things and, do go back to work, etc. But what is happening? He fails. He is unable to convince the teachers, and the teachers say, no, we'll not call off the strike. So here we can use the idiom, which is to fall flat. Okay, here obviously we are using fell flat, which is obviously the different form of verb that we need to use here. But the idiom is to fall flat, to fail miserably into something. Alright, now let's look into the next idiom. To get into hot water. What does it mean to get into hot water? Obviously, no one wants to go into hot water. We all need warm water, है ना? हम में से किसी को भी hot water नहीं चाहिए. Hot water obviously means a trouble for us. It may cause us skin burns or something like that. To get into trouble is the actual meaning of to get into hot water. अब देखते हैं इस पे क्या sentence बनता है. The manager got into hot water by participating in the union meeting. So there must be some manager who participated in a certain meeting. It's a union meeting. Union basically means a group or an association of people. Okay? So there was some meeting going on and the manager participated in that meeting. And he was not supposed to participate. So he ended up himself into a trouble. So we can say he got himself into hot water. We should always try to get into hot water, right? And I think that's precisely most of us do all the time, right? Fairfield and no favor. Now, what does this mean? Fair means saaf suthra. Okay? Fairfield and no favor. Favor means we are not giving any kind of special treatment to anyone, right? Just like class mein, if there is a teacher who is, giving extra marks to one child, then it would not be fair, right? It would not be a fair field. But if the good student and the notorious student, everyone is treated equally, everyone is given the marks according to what they have written, then we would say that, it's a fair field and no favor, that the teacher is doing no favor to, the good child and he is not being unfair to the notorious child, right? So its meaning is honesty and sincerity, that we are doing our work without any kind of corruption, without any kind of, bad motives. So let's see one example based on this. All the staff want fair field and no favor in the manner of transfer. Now, if you know that in a government job, after every few years, you have to take a transfer. That is, you have to move from one city to another city to work, okay? Now, oftentimes, people have noticed that, the people who have to do the transfer of employee, may use some unfair means. They may, put them into some remote place they don't want to go. Or if they like some employee, they will place them in a good place, in an urban city maybe. Okay? So that has been seen. But the here staff wants that, such things should not happen. Some special treatment should not be given to one particular individual. And they want it to be fair field and no favor. The transfer should be done with all fair means. Alright, so there we use this kind of idiom, which is fair field and no favor. I hope you all have understood. It's very simple, that we should not be partial, right? In a nutshell. From far and wide. From far and wide, matlab dur dur se. As you are watching this video, from far and wide, right? So, from a larger number of places. So, let's look at this example. Many tourists came to see the Taj Mahal from far and wide. Every year, we know, so many tourists come from within India and outside India, throughout the world, to visit Taj Mahal, which is obviously a pride of India. Now, here, we are using this idiom that is from far and wide. Matlab, dur dur se log aa rahe hain, because obviously it's truth that the people are coming from far and wide. So, therefore, we are using this idiom from far and wide. Now this brings us to the end of this video. And I hope आप सब ने बहुत सारे idioms आज सीखे होंगे and you will definitely going to use it. These are going to be very useful in your life, not just in your exam. इसको अगर आप ऐसा सोच के चलोगे कि हमें सिर्फ exam के लिए study करना है, then you will forget it after a while, okay? I want you to retain this knowledge and use it in your daily life, and that will improvise your personality. So keep these in your mind, and I'll just share the contact details with you, how you can reach out to us and get more access to knowledge and more study material. So here are the details for you. You can see it here. This is Daljender Singh, your mentor for English, the Winning Edge Academy.